Oy, oy, oy. What a butthole. Oh, well. Oh, well. What a debacle. What a flippin' debacle. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Forge and Brush, what's up, buddy? As you can see in the comments, StreamYard, they changed their things around, and this is the only camera I have available. I was going to do a multiple camera setup, but, well, this will be the last I'm using their services if I can find something better. How's the weather over there? How's everything doing? Hopefully well. Oh, I got knock issue 4 in, by the way. I'll be showing that off at some point, which would be nice. I haven't even opened it up. So it'll be a reveal, so to speak. I know the camera's probably a little out of focus, but good. No frozen pipes. Well, hello, Zadarok. Give it a few more moments. Folks said they'd be stopping in. We're going to get up to about 40 degrees here Fahrenheit. Pardon me. show off my nifty dice tray tin thing I made. Probably on a different stream when I use a different service. Or maybe this one, or just a short or something. Probably via short. It is 1 o'clock, correct? Jeez. We got a reflection. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Yep, can't see crap. I'll stay focused. Oh, I know why. I know what. I'll get rid of that real quickly. Let me see here. Work. Thank you. We'll figure it out. No worries. Let's do this. Oop. 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 There we go. Okay. That's right there. That might be screwing that up. So let's do this too. And we can kind of see that a little better, huh? Yeah, I tried to do this thing to overlay and it didn't want to work out on the laptop for me, so that is what that is. That's on my screen with the camera. All right, is that legible or is that backwards? Okay, good. I'll be plopping a character sheet over top of that from time to time, filling it out. Rolling some dice. Going through it step by step. Then maybe another video I'll cover the magic system for the what they call the Shekpavar, whatever it is, the magic. And then maybe I'll go over for some of the religions and how that magic system works, which is pretty much identical to your standard magic. Go over combat, do some installments per se. Especially when I get a better dang thing. No, Dragon Bane. Yeah, it's a fun little system. Like I said, I'm chomping at the bit. Dahlman Wood should be arriving probably this spring. That'll be neat. I'll go over that. I got the PDFs downloaded from the Kickstarter the other day. They look really neat. It looks really fun, neat OSE rules setting. They have their own classes and whatnot. Own races. What do they call them in there? I think kindred or something. I don't know. It looks neat. It looks really neat. A couple more minutes and I'll get started. Let some folks hop in if they are able to, if they remembered. But if not, they'll just rewatch it. Hopefully, it'll satiate their curiosity and they'll come back for more. Yeah, I can't even do two cameras. I can't even show my face and do this with this new StreamYard crap. Yeah, go for it. Share it. Spread the nerd word. A good handful of folks said they'd try and make it, so we'll see. Like I said, no worries, no harm, no foul. I'm going to do this anyways. It doesn't really take long. I mean, if you're new, oh yes, I'll let you know, Zadarok. Zadarok's making and baking all day, fellas. Cookies, cookies, cookies. Um, yeah, they can rewatch it. No biggie. Hey, J Knob, welcome. Welcome. I didn't know if you heard or not, or if you just popped in, but yeah, StreamYard it blows now. I'm gonna use it up a couple more times maybe and try and find something a little better. I can't even share two cameras. I can't even. Yeah, I don't get it. I was gonna have a camera over a dice tray, camera over character sheets, this, that. And no, we don't hear the mixers, Adderrock. So keep jamming, keep making and baking, baby. Yeah, Harn Master character creation. If you're stumbling through it, it could take up to an hour. But if you're stumbling, bumbling, trying to read through and understand some things, really doesn't take that long. It's a little in depth, a little tad crunchy, but I mean, if that's the kind of game you're looking for, I like it. It's a class less, level less, skill based system. Magic is skill based. Whether you're a cleric or actual mage magician, combat skill based. Everything is skill based, which I enjoy. Is Forge and Brush, Fritz, as we've discussed before, and I'm sure you folks you might have heard me say as well. Nostalgia's sake, sure, give me the class and level and all that, but that's nostalgia. That's the old school D&D OSR OSE type stuff. If you're not going to do that, I would prefer this kind of this style of system. Class less, level less. skill based. Because I mean, being no class, any character can, within rights, feasibility, however you want to say it, they can learn a Shekvar, they can learn a spell, an incantation, they can learn. You can have a pious character that's not necessarily a priest that may have what they call a ritual, which is basically divine magic. There's different ways to study and gain this. 8 Mob, what's up, buddy? Yes, it is a D100 system. Yes. As we'll all see, like I said, let some folks file in. Hopefully they start popping in another minute or two. I'll start jamming and we'll just get on with it. Use percentiles and D6s in this system. That's it. Oh, wait, crap. We do use a D12 for character creation, and oh boy. Well, you know what? And a 30-sided die, but that's the 30-sided die is to determine what day of the month, and the 12-sided is what month one was born in, because there are sun signs that can give a little bonus to skills at the start. But I have a fun app that I already have that set up. It's a neat die rolling app. Yeah, I know the camera's not going to want to focus on another camera, but I have it. It's neat. You can do all kinds of different dice. Many dice. If you want to do like 36-sided, you can do them. It does use charts for combat resolution. But again, that'll be in another video. Unless this carries on and folks have questions, and we can go over that, touch upon that. Armor is damage reduction, which is nice. And your overall encumbrance does cause a little bit of a detriment to performing certain skills, because you're encumbered. It's a little rougher to move. I would judge, unless it's a injury penalty or maybe a fatigue penalty, your encumbrance isn't going to really affect your oratory skill. I mean, come on. But that's all common sense. That's all. So, all right. Well, looks like we're all here for now. Hopefully other folks show up. If not, as I said earlier, moments ago, they can watch it later. Okay. This is I'm looking through on my neat little PDF reader. It's not a tablet. It's just strictly for PDFs and books and magazines and such. This version is the PDF version 3.5.2. So if you do get the physical and it's the third or third and a half edition physical, it's same thing. There's no real changes. I think the 0.2 is more like, oh, we misspelled this, or we forgot a comma or a period here or there, I think. I don't know. All right, player's first task is to generate a character. This section contains rules for generating both PCs and NPCs. A novice GM or player can generate a character with attributes, skills, combat stats, and equipment in 1 hour. A little less, a little more, about an hour. My experience. Again, I've never played, never ran it. I've made a bunch of characters because they're fun to make. Read through it a bit. Still don't remember it all. And you fill out a character profile and a character sheet. Place for skills, combat skills, language and scripts. Check VAR down there. That's your different schools of magic. And then we have, here, let's do this. Then we have back combat profile. Got your combat stats, your injuries, your load, which is your encumbrance. Get your armor, your clothing, penalties, any special penalties, and then your armor profile, your combat, your compound layers. You can layer armor. Certain armors can be layered, and then the areas that are protected and the amount of protection. BEPF, blunt, edged, piercing. F is fire. Also can be applied to certain magical effects. Your birth, your family, your appearance. You got your physical, your personality. A lot of neat attributes they put into play. I mean, your voice, your sense of smell, hearing, eyesight. I like that. Morality is a stat, so you can change that. If you want to roll random right out the gate and be, someone that's can be bribed, or you end up with a character that can, be easily bribed per se. You can, well, I don't really like that. Well, as part of play, you can change that and raise that score. Nothing wrong with that. I like that. Come on now. Yeah, I don't like. I was going to do something else with this, but then again, StreamYard blows. Camera isn't the best. Guys. So you have to bear with me. So character creation is going to take longer than you were just sitting here reading it. Generating characters. The GM tells the players which optional rules are in play for the game. There's some optional rules, different damage rules, different character creation rules. There's also, which is neat, especially for players, DMs, on ColumbiaGames.com, their website. It's free. They have a software. Lazy interns, jeez. Got that right. Fire them, hang them. They have two different programs. They're both, each one is programmed for the two of the most common softwares out there. And it'll generate a character. I mean, boom, click the button, generate, boom. You can set parameters, you want human only, or you want from this region, kingdom, this, that, and then hit generate, and pow, fills out the whole profile, front and back. Really handy, and they're free. So head over to the website, check it out. ColumbiaGames.com. And if you look through their catalog, there's a starter rules PDF that's free. Check it out. Basic, a little more rules light, but get you up and running. All right, birth attributes. First things voiced. Got a species. That's your race. 1 through 97. You roll D100. 1 through 97, human. You roll a 98, you're a Sindarin, which is an elf. 99, Khazdul, which is a dwarf. And double Watt, it's whatever the DM, if you guys, if people were into playing what they call Gargun, which is like their version of goblins slash orcs, but they're a hateful race. They're not playable, but whatever. All right, let's roll here. Red's going to be high when I roll here. So I got 29. Well, I'm a human. So here on birth family, we'll write human. Well, you can roll. Let's see here. I'm human. You can roll whether you're male or female. I mean, that always kind of irked me. Sex. I mean, often, but all right, whatever. 26. I'm human. I'm a male. Okay. If you want to go totally random, again, choice. Now, all right. Now we're gonna go to birth date. Yeah, I know, one of the weirdo races, right? Well, Harn is the thing I like about Harn World, even Harn Master. There's magic. You can make magic weapons. But the setting itself, it's not talked about a whole lot. So it's not a high magic, the Harn World, but you can easily go more of a high fantasy bent towards your game if that's what you want to do, and it's super easy to do. It's not difficult at all. Okay, we're gonna go with birth date. All right, we got the D12, D20 here. I'll do this so we can kind of see. Right there's birth date. I know this camera. I gotta get a better camera. Whatever. All right, we're gonna do this. Let's see if this focuses or not. All right, I got a 2 for the month and a 19. So the 19th of the second month. So real light. I'll go 2/19 because we look here. Piano, it's the second month. It's in spring. The Tuzin year, the Harn year. There's 12 months. The calendar is 30 days a month. The days of the week aren't named, but there's 3 weeks in the month. They're called a 10-day. So piano, and when I get 19, so from the 4th of piano to the 2nd of Cullen, which is the other month, I am Aurelius is my sun sign, so I would write that down. Aurelius. The symbol is wands, so that could be helpful if I want to do any kind of magic-y kind of stuff. And I will write down birth date, piano, 19th. Birthplace, Harn World Regional Modules provide birthplace generation tables. The GM may assign you a birthplace or tell you what dice to roll to generate one of these tables. Yeah, when you're running a campaign or adventures, you kind of have an area in mind. Culture, again, that goes with the area, the kingdom, the region in mind. But you can roll a social class or choose, or the DM would choose, say, hey guys, we're all, we're all serf, or we're all ungilded or gilded, or oh, you're playing a bunch of nobles or whatever. But just for kicks, birthplace I'm going to leave blank. Culture I'm going to roll 39. Sorry, social class 39. I'm going to say we're in a highly feudal. See the Viking there, Fritz? That would be for your Ivinia modules I sent you. Feudal 39. Serf. Okay, my social class is a serf. Got that. Family development. Your sibling rank. You roll D100 on subtable Sindel, you subtract 20 to determine sibling rank. So if you're an elf or a dwarf, you subtract 20. If not, you keep the roll. And then you roll a d6 minus 1 plus sibling rank to determine family size. Both stats are entered in the profile. So I'm going to roll a 41, which would mean I am the second child. 2 minus 1, okay. Second child of 2. Second child of 2, so youngest. Now you roll for your parent. Characters, biological father and mother. Father and mother. You roll D100 on the table below and generate additional data as necessary. 44 offspring. Okay, and then I would roll, and I have a 62. My father was absent, either from desertion or divorce. So I'll roll father absent. And you know what? Well, desertion, divorce, and we'll just, he's absent. We're not going to worry about it. How? All right. And then estrangement. Estrangement measures a character's popularity in the clan, tribe, and or family. It has significant effect on opportunities, including any inheritance. Being the eldest child of a knight is less advantageous if he hates you. So, just give you a little. So we're going to go with, first of all, who is the, well, it says estrangement. Estrangement's over here. Ooh, 95. Popular. So, and popular is character is liked by most relatives and may enjoy special favor, but should not take things for granted. Now we roll to see who the clan head is. A character's relationship to the clan head is often more important than to parents. Harnic clans tend to be large. Some live in close proximity. Some number in the thousands and are widely dispersed. Estrangement is generated for a character's clan head as necessary. I'm rolling it up. Let's see how this plays out. I have a 50. Distant relation. All right. As you can see, that's what I'm filling out here. Birthplace, I'm not going to worry about that. There's many other kingdoms, and it's really not pertinent to actual character generation other than where the story, campaign, plot, whatever is going to start or end up. There's, I think, 11 different kingdoms. So you can see where that can go, where that can lead. All right, if distant relation is generated, roll again to determine your father's relation to the clan head. Okay, so 50. So he's distant. So, all right, we're just some cousin of a cousin twice removed and blah-de-de. Which it still, that can have bearing on a story. Okay, we have appearance attributes. Yeah, and bro had an accident first. Exactly. All right, height by species, human, Sindarin, Khazad-dûl. Height by race. This, I'm a male human, so I roll 4d6, and I add that to 54, and that's my height in inches. So I have 12. So I'm 66 inches. So I'm 5'6". All right. All right, a bit of a coughing fit. Sorry, folks. My frame. You have modifiers for your human, female, Sindarin, or a Khazad-dûl. Roll 3d6. I have a 12. So my frame is medium. Which that'll play a part a little bit in your weight. And if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of armor, clothing. All right. Weight derived from height. So I'm 66 inches, so about 145 pounds. 5'6", 145 pounds. About. Now, I enjoy having this stat. Sorry, trying to keep it square. Camera's a little crooked. Comeliness. How good looking are you? All right, I got an 11. Average. I'm of average looks. And I write on the character sheet the number, and then I put a dash and write in average. So you can remember, what that number would translate to on the stat. Other appearance, which that's an optional rule. You can see the check mark. Usually if there's a square, that means it's an optional rule, and I put a check mark on that PDF because I kind of like it. This is a percentile rolls. All right, complexion 60. I have a medium complexion. What's my hair color? Ooh, 11. Brown hair. And my eye color? 44. Hazel. This kind of stuff can be fun. Again, we all know you don't have to do that. All right, now we're going to physical attributes. What are considered key attributes? 3d6. Let's do strength. 6. Not very strong. There's no real modifiers. You know, if I have a 6, I don't have a -3 or 5 or 9 or 4 or whatever. But they do, you'll see, they still play a part. Stamina. Again, it's a 3d6 key attribute. 13. Not too shabby per se. Dexterity. 7. Agility. Now you get modifiers for your race or your frame to agility, and I have a medium frame, so I get no plus or minus to this roll. 11. Eyesight. Again, you get modifiers if you're an elf, dwarf, or a tribesman, which would be under the barbarian tribes, which they have a whole book on the barbarians. A lot of different tribes. Looks like a 9 to me. Hearing, same. Modifiers, elf, dwarf, tribesman. Neither of those. Oh boy. Huh? What? Smell. Just like the hearing. All right, what do I get there? Holy moly. 13. All right, I can smell you coming. Voice. It's the pleasantness and or volume of a character's voice. Excellent and unearthly voices are in high demand. Voice affects a number of communication skills. Sindarin have a modifier no one else does. I have a 7. And for the descriptor, my voice is unpleasant. You don't like listening to me talk or sing. Little side note on tribesmen there. Now medical. This is an optional thing. I like it just for fun, so I'm going to use it just in this character creation. All right, later, Ape Mope. 73. I'm a male, so I go into the male chart. No medical traits. Now, in using this option, you reward players with 2 points, which you can add to one attribute or disperse them over a number of attributes, up to 2 points. Before they risk a roll on this table, but then it also says you can't put those points in something if this table would affect an attribute. So, I mean, you may as well say roll on it. You get 2 points. You know, if you get something with your eyes, you can't put any of those points on your eyesight attribute. I mean, you know, common sense. And I rolled none, so I effectively get 2 points to put wherever I want. And I'm going to put a point on my hearing, raise it from 5 to 6. And I'll put one on strength, raise it from a 6 to a 7. Why not? Now we have our personality attributes. Now I could have put that on intelligence. I didn't roll those yet, but I picked them, sticking with it. My intelligence, ooh, 14. And it also has a descriptor. I'm clever. Yes. My memory is good, and my reasoning is clever. And let's get rid of that. Aura. You get some bonuses if you're a human, female, elf, or dwarf, or minuses. My aura. Oh boy, it's a 6. Harnic philosophers believe that all living things have aura, and that the physical body is simply a place where the immortal spirit currently resides. High aura indicates high psychic ability and is the most important attribute for psionics and magic, although will and intelligence are also vital. There are psionics in this game. Their suggestion, of if you include psionics, characters would start out with psionics as latent abilities, and then as gameplay, you know, they organically show themselves, and you know, holy moly, I can, whatever they are, read minds, or you know, slightly move objects, or whatever the psionics may be. Will. Oh wow, 16. You are not breaking my mind. Mental strength, tenacity, and patience. A character with low will lacks confidence, panics easily, and has difficulty with tedious tasks. Those with high will are resolute, confident, and stubborn. Morality. Now you can choose, and here's the list. You can roll. I like to roll. It's fun. Nice, a 16. So morality, you write 16, and I like to write in what that 16 would mean. I am principled. Principled means one reluctant to cause suffering. Although honorable and dutiful, this character is capable of vanity, greed, and hatred, but will be troubled by guilt when these occur. All right. Psyche. That is another optional rule, and I'll roll. And Psyche, if you do include this, I believe you get... Yeah, you get more points. 64. What'd I get here? What'd I get? 64. Okay, xenophobia, fear of strangers. Fear of strangers. Yeah, I just don't trust strangers. I don't like them. No, sir. Don't like them. Where does it say how many points? I know it does say how many points. I think you get... Yeah, role play the disorder as best fits. Oh, maybe you don't get point. Maybe you only get 2. I thought you got another point or 2 for using this optional table. Okay, option 1. Yeah, I do like this, and I will use this, and I don't have this check mark for some reason, but it is now check marked. Reward players with 3 points, which they can add to attributes of their choice, except will, if they risk a roll on this table. Why not? It's an optional. Why not give them a little bonus? So I got 3 points. So I'm going to say my strength is going up to an 8. And my hearing, I'm going to put that up to an 8. And then, you can choose whether you're any of the 3 classic sexual preferences, bi, straight, or homosexual, if you want, but or you can roll it if if your group likes that kind of stuff. Now, deity, you have a choice of deities. If you want to choose my deity and religion, I'm going to, and they give you a morality guideline of what most likely you would choose. I'm going to go with well, I'm clever. You know what? I'm going to go with Save Nor, the god of knowledge and riddles. You roll piety. Piety measures a character's standing with a deity and then measured in piety points. The number of piety points for a new character is determined by rolling 5d6. Piety totals increase and decrease in the course of play. PCs who choose a deity inappropriate to their morality should have an opening PP total of only 4d6 or 3d6. Pardon me, at the DM's discretion. 2, 4, 6, 9, 13. Okay. Occupation, and you could choose, or you could roll, see what your occupation was at the start of your adventuring career, per se. And why not? I'm going to roll it. What was that? A serf. In the feudal, a 91. This is small for you guys to read. 81 through 95. I was a herdsman. Put this under notes. Well, actually, it's up top, occupation title. Herdsman. Do that. Erase this. Okay, we'll get rid of this. Occupational skills, that's the skills you start off with. There are some on the character sheet. The skills that are already filled in, like that's what you start off with. Everybody does. Again, this is small to read, but I will find. I'm going to say I was an ungilded herdsman. Animal craft. Animal craft and, well, you know, sheep, goat, cattle, horse, whatever. And then you can see Animal Craft /4. You write that number real light under the character sheet has SB and ML. That's your skill base. Oh, there's my boy. Which we'll get into skills. Tracking. Which that is 4, survival 4, and weather lore 4. Survival. Okay. Now the reason I'm writing these in light is because your sun sign that your birth, Aurelius, may give a bonus to this. And what was the other one? Weather lore. And that is a 4. All right. Automatic skills. Skills every character has regardless of background or training. These skills are already entered on the character profile. The SB for each automatic skill should be calculated in recording. The open mastery, it's given in the skill data table. Occupational skills, family skills, or some optional skills. You know, my parents' occupation, if I rolled on the occupation table, it suggested what my parents' occupation might have been. And then you could do family skills. A character's parent occupation, for example, is a jeweler. If the character follows this occupation, the family skills are jewel craft, metal craft, mining, and script. If the character chooses another occupation, the family skills are basically cut in half, rounded down. So jewel craft would begin at 2. Mining would be at 1. Metal craft 2. Script, you know, you go through and family wealth, poor average rich, right up here, family wealth. There's no real role to determine that. That's between you, the players, the DM. You know, where you at? What where you guys where you started out at? Where was your home? Was it in a larger populated center, or was it kind of not so much? So, you know, depending on start, campaign start, adventure start, give you your wealth. That'd be kind of your starting loot to buy things. Friends and enemies. Now, they don't have a space on this character profile, the character sheet for it. Got a small space, notes. You could write it in there, or write it any of the blank spaces. But let's see what my contacts are. 91. Oh, GM option. Well, I'm gonna roll again. 62. He's ungilded. And then you would roll. You could go back and roll. Okay, I have, let's see here, contact ungilded. I'll roll random feudal ungilded. Freeman 94. And the feudal, a soldier or a yeoman. So that's a contact I may have. And we'll see. The relationship of this contact is an acquaintance. And the loyalty, it's a D20. So yeah, there's a D20 in here. D20% plus 30. 43%. So, I mean, that could be used as a role, hey, man, I need your help. Oh, really? Well, and depending on the ask, the DM would apply a modifier, You roll under on your skills. So on this loyalty, on an ask, I would judge, all right, 43%. All right, you roll 43 or lower, he's going to do it. If it's something that would, align with this yeoman, that's an acquaintance, something would align with, perhaps I rolled up the NPC for this acquaintance, this contact, and his morality was, whatever, then you could, you're at minus 10% or plus 30%, whatever, as a bonus, modifier, penalty, if they would go along with speculated ask. They have a bit in here for veteran characters. Those are characters that start off with a little bit of a higher, a little more experienced. And then they have a little aging table. They have character design. They give you a point buy system. The thing for clerics. A thing for Shek Var, if you want to start off heavily with those types of characters. A character that rolled up a military career, or a parent was in the military. And things about reenlistment, things about infantry and cavalry. All right, skills. Let's reset that. There's a skill base. The skill base represents a character's natural affinity for a skill. The SB for each skill is calculated when the skill is opened. The skill data table, next page, lists the component attributes. To determine a skill base, The attributes are averaged round fractions to the nearest whole number. If an attribute is listed twice, it is counted twice in the calculation. If the character's sun sign is listed, it increases skill base by the indicated number. Skill base has three main uses. The opening mastery level for most skills is a multiple of SB. Hence, characters with a higher natural affinity will open the skill at a higher mastery level. The maximum mastery level for a skill is equal to 100 plus skill base. A character with the skill base 16 in sword can develop it to a mastery level of 116. Well, having a skill base in 11 can only have it to a maximum of 111. Skill base is added to a character's development roll every time an attempt is made to improve the skill. Characters with a higher skill base improve the skill faster and can improve it to a higher mastery level. And then here's an example. I'll read it. Jiren wishes to calculate his dancing skill base. His dexterity is 10, agility 14, and the sun sign is Harn. His skill base is determined by adding together dexterity, agility, divide by 3. The result, 10 plus 14 plus 14, dexterity 10, agility 14, twice, divided by 3 is 12.66, which is rounded to 13. After a +1 modifier for a sun sign, Harn, his dancing skill base is at a 14. Mastery level. Unless otherwise noted, a multiple of skill base is used to determine the open mastery level of any skill. If the OML is listed at SB times 2, the skill is opened at twice the applicable skill base. This is given at the in the skill tables. Now, an optional rule: specialties. You can, herdsman. Well, that's kind of a blanket thing. Well, I'm a sheep herder or a goat herder. Well, then that would kind of be a goats or sheep or whatever. You don't necessarily have to go into a specialty, but some of them do help. They make sense. Now, in this chart, they do have, they're in all capital. Those are, everybody gets, we all climb trees when we were kids. This is a medieval, kids play. They climb, they jump, they play hide and seek. They throw, rocks at frogs, so you have your climbing, jumping, stealth, and throwing. Now, climbing would start at 4, and it's strength, dex, agility. I write these real light because they may change due to sun sign. So, climbing, strength, dex, agility. Strength is 8, dexterity is 7, 15, plus 11, 26, divided by 3, Oh, whoa. Sorry, I got a couple messages here going on. All right, sorry. Anyways, we were at what 26 divided by 3. That's 8, a little over 8.5, 8. So round up 9. Okay. So back to climbing. 9. 9 times 4. Of course, I have Ula and Ara are the two sun signs, and my sun sign is Aurelius, and so I get a +2. So again, I have a 9, and I get a +2 modifier. So my opening skill base for that would be 11 on climbing. And as it says here, oops, +11 climbing times 4, mastery level is 44. So I got a 44% of climbing something that, again, you got to use common. We all know, use common sense. If it's a tree and the branches are right there, you climb up it. But something calls for a roll, 44% likelihood. If you wanted to make it easier, the DM would say, well, give you have a +10. So now I have to roll 54 lower. Or it's real slick and slimy and hard to climb. You're at -20. Now I have a 24%. All percentile. So you see how that skills work. And you go through with, jumping, stealth, throwing, awareness, and any other skills that you would, my craft and my lore skills, animal craft, tracking, survival, weather lore, awareness, combat skills, initiative and unarmed, and then any other, sword, dagger, spear, bow, club, polearm, shield, sling, whip. And riding is actually under combat. At least you would. And then religion, your rituals, and your Shekvar, they also open the same way. It's calculated the exact same way. I'm not going to go through all the skills because you have it. You get it just by me doing the climbing. You can use, all right, now when you test a skill, there are levels of success. You have a critical failure, marginal success, critical success. Now, in any skills, combat included, spellcasting included, if you roll on a multiple of 5, so for example, my climbing is 44. If I roll a 40, that would be considered a critical success. If I rolled a 65, because it's on a multiple of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc., etc. If I rolled a 65, that would be a critical failure. If I rolled a 64, marginal failure. If I rolled a 43 on my climbing out of 44, it would be a marginal success. Critical success, you succeeded in the best possible way. Critical failure, you mess up in the worst possible way. Marginal failure, you failed, but you're close to success. And marginal success, you did it, but wasn't anything extraordinary, wasn't a critical. There's universal penalties for skills when you take an injury. There's also a fatigue calculated. You also have an encumbrance penalty. You add those up. Those is an overall penalty. Universal penalty is the sum of injury and fatigue, and it's applied to all attributes when they are tested. You can test your attributes, the 3d6 attributes. They have a way of doing that if there isn't quite a skill that covers something you want to do. When any non-physical skill test is tested, the effective mastery level is reduced by 5 times the universal penalty. So I have a universal penalty. Say I'm really, I got hurt. I got 2 injury level penalty and 2 fatigue. That's 4. Multiply that by 5. That would be a 20% penalty. Physical penalty is not only hampered by injury and fatigue, but also by the load of a character, which is encumbrance. The character's physical penalty is equal to universal penalty plus encumbrance penalty. So it just adds on, stacks on, same way, multiply by 5. There's fatigue recovery, which we'll go over in combat. Now, skill development. This is neat because it is a level-less system. For every month of game time, you get what's called SMPs, skill maintenance points. You get 30 of them. You may place those in any of the skills that you would be commonsensically able to kind of practice, study throughout that month's time period, and you can add them to your overall mastery level percentage. You expend SMPs. At the end of each month, 10 SMPs are expended for each skill development roll. So you get a roll. And if you succeed on the roll, you go up. So basically, you get 3 rolls. Now, I like the will variant. The basic monthly skill maintenance point allowance is equal to your will times 3. To me, that makes sense. If you got a higher will, you're more likely to work hard, study hard, practice hard. You're going to end up with a little more. Now, at the end of the month, any leftover points, they don't carry over. They're lost. You reset, restart. You also, stressful bonus experience. All right, you went through, 3 or 4 sword fights or combats within that month period. The DM should obviously award you, maybe an extra roll or 2 or 3 to getting better at your combat skill with sword, short sword, long sword, whatever, spear. Physical skills, now it goes through basically what they cover. Communication skills, craft lore skills, it gives a more in-depth. And they also have for learning new skills. So you may learn new skills. And where is it? I just passed it up. Okay, astrology. In order to begin study and learn astrology, you can see here, it'd take you 3 months before you can actually use that skill, write it down, go at the base starting mastery level, which is, we saw listed in the skills. Herbalore, Metalcraft 2 months, Mathematics 3 months, Masonry a month, Law 2 months, Lore a month. And some of them say like physician, first use, physician, first aid. Territory 4 months, survival a month. And you have our combat skills, which same. You have your mastery level, same as any other skill, same determination. And then we go through combat here. You have your weapon data, your armor data, your armor types. Okay, armor protective values. Cloth has a protective value against blunt 1, edged 1, point 1, fire 1. So basically you have 1 DR against any of those 4 types of damage dealt. I mean, you have plate. Blunt is 6, edged is 10, point is 5, fire is 2. You can do some compound layers of armor within reason. So you could be wearing, bits of cloth underneath your plate, and everything goes up by, they compound, they add up. There's optional rule for armor damage, which I like, movement, combat sequence, combat. We'll cover that in a different thing. You have skill tests. When you attack, you roll your skill. They can defend. They have a defense roll. Compare notes on the chart and do your injury determination from there. And you also see where they hit, where the blow was landed. They use initiative and morale. Some mounted combat. Physician, injury and recover, blood loss, how long it takes to heal, the healing rate. Psionics, short section on that. We got 8 pages on that. And then it goes into your campaign, how you're gonna, DM will carry out a campaign. Gives you, the calendar year, the name of the months, spring, summer, autumn, winter. So you have an idea of weather. You have your daylight hours by season. The time tick, if you're doing a watch typically lasts about 4 hours. So there's 4 different times of watch throughout a 24-hour day. Chance of encounters, campaign time. And I've always liked this about Harn, the setting. The current game year for all Harn World material is 720 TR. So in the million or more words written about the setting, they all stop at the year 720. So it's historical up to the point 720. When you start your own game, you can start the second month of 720, or it's 890 or whatever. Or you can game, in the year 615 if you want, and go with the actual history and play out a historical battle or some such. Movement rates, terrain, transportation, just your usual, your normal, typical fantasy type rules. And that's actually, yeah, that's the basics of Harn character creation. Real quick, real basic. I mean, you know, the real time consumer basically is doing your skills, which isn't, you don't start off with a whole lot of them anyways. So you have at it. You do that, fill it out, bada boom, bada bang. You know, the character profile, you know, you have the combat profile, I should say. Whatever armor would cover what, write it in. Armor quality, everything, armor quality and weapon quality is 0. That's your average mundane. Anything above that is better. You know, armor quality 1, you would add 1 to all of the blunt, edge, pierce, fire, protectiveness. Same with weapon quality. If I had a weapon quality, you need a +1 sword. Weapon quality 1 sword. The blunt, edge, pierce damage of the weapon would go up by 1. You have an attack and defensive modifier because certain weapons, you know, they all have an attack and defense aspect to them per se. So you'd add 5% to your attack and 5% to your defense because, you know, it's lighter, it's sturdier. +1 weapon, +1 armor, just in percentiles. Combat stats, you got your initiative, endurance, dex, agility, move, and dodge. Your dodge is your dodge percentage is your agility times 5. So without any penalties, this fellow's dodge would be at 55% to start. It's not bad. I mean, it can be brutal, especially combat. Combat can be brutal. But if the game's combat is brutal, then it's not a let's go kill stuff and level up type of game. You have your locations for your injuries. You know, so oh, did I get hit in the arm or did I get hit, you know, leg, whatever. HR, that's healing rate. How many days it'll take to drop the injury level down by 1 step until you're all healed. And if you're yeah. Injury levels, fatigue levels, universal penalty, and then you have your encumbrance, and that's your physical penalty. Like we lightly went over a little bit ago on penalties. So that was a quick coverage of character creation. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all the skills and everything because I'm certain you got the idea through just me going over the climbing skill. Here's a fully done, fleshed out, completed character I did just for chagrins. He's a low guard Kazdul. He's a dwarf. And then there's his stats. 13 strength, 14 stamina, 11 dex, 9 agility, 12 eyesight, 10 hearing, 15 smell, 9 voice, 10 average or 10 intelligence. Will is 15, aura is 3. His commuliness is 10. Yes, I rolled for, you can see his physical. He got he had pock marks, but they're healed. And then he's got a psyche. He's got acrophobia, fear of heights. His contacts was ungilded cook, his close friend, 87% loyalty. But you can see some of the skills. Climbing's at 28, jumping at 40, stealth at 33, throwing at 48. He's got some of his combat skills: spear, battle axe, dagger, round shield. And as I was saying, the weapons, they have their own bit they would add to. Okay, a dagger, 5 and 5. So with his skill, and you add the skill in dagger, which is 55. When using a dagger, his attack would be at 60, his defense would be at 60. Now I didn't calculate in his actual load, which adds up to 41 with all his armor. Weapons, they have a weight. You add those all up to 40. So I didn't calculate that in on this. That's a physical penalty. Using a dagger is physical. So actually his dagger would be at 40 and 40. Because you multiply that by 5. It's a 20% loss. So he has a 40% to attack or defend with a dagger, if he chooses to parry. You know, my dodge, just jumping out of the way, it would be at a 25%. Because, as you can see, he got lots of armor. But if someone were to, because he's got some compound layers on, you know, someone were to smack him in the hip, he's taken 4 less on a blunt, 8 less on an edged, 6 less on a pierce, 6 less on fire. That's pretty good. But with, you know, a lot of protection comes a penalty. So I hope you guys like this short little brief going over. If we have any questions, anybody have any questions, they want to chime in or blab in, anything they want me to go over a little more better, I will. Just hanging out, blabbing. Anybody has any thoughts? Any thoughts? And I'm gonna hang on here for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, then hop off, and then I might hop back on and do a live opening of Knock issue 4, something different and unrelated game wise, rules wise. Yeah, hopefully this gave folks a little bit of an insight to how this all works. At least the character creation, skills and whatnot. I mean, they're all the same. I mean, like I said, it's, even if I was creating a Shek Var, I would look up the school of convocation and calculate the skill mastery just the same as I would booger picking or butt wiping or whatever skill, you know, climbing, you know, whatever. And I would record that percentage, and that would be the percentage to cast that spell. Or, you know, say the prayer, do the ritual if you use a cleric. Or swing the sword, or, you know. Yeah, simple combat example. Oh, absolutely. That'll be for another video. I want to do this in little parts and bits and pieces. You know, I'll do a combat example. Actually, I think I did a Harn combat example a while back. It's probably in the history or log of videos I did on this channel. I think I did one or two of them, but I will go over it again. We'll check it out. We'll go over to skill or the combat. I mean, the magic is pretty. They got a nice, robust amount of spells, robust amount of schools. If you want to focus on, if you want to, and they have casting time. You know, some take seconds, some take minutes. You know, some take. It all depends on what it is. As per spell description, there are 7 schools of magic, which I'll cover lightly. One is neutral. That's any of the Shekvar, the mages can use, and they call them chantries. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6 chantries, and it's got there's a circle, kind of shows you where the chantries lie with one another. You know, if your focus was in this one, and you learned or casted a spell in either this one or this one, you would be at a minus, or you would be at a +1. These two would be -1. This one would be -3 because it's diametrically opposed, which is kind of neat. And the same thing pretty much goes with the faiths. If you were to have a multiple deity cleric, but those are focused. Those are, you focus on your deity, and the rest are either heresy or just not the proper way, so to speak. You can research, but they have rules on making your own spells, rules on making, enchanted weapons and items and armors and stuff. So you can have your adventures, your campaign be a little more leaning towards a high fantasy. The rules are there. They got it. It's really a good system. I like it. It's a little crunch, but that's all right. Like I said earlier, if I want to go old school, I'll go with a PX or OSC type, OSC advanced. That type of rules. Oh yeah, definitely take a look, Janoff. It's a really neat system. I enjoy it, at least reading through it and creating characters, rolling up different characters. I've got a nice pile of them, just rolled up to get familiar with it. I've done some mock combats a few times to get used to the looking at the charts. I mean, you have injury levels. Yes, it does generate a lot of rich detail. Yeah, yeah, the setting is rich in detail, and the character, and just the Harn Master itself. That's one thing I appreciate about these guys at Columbia Games. Harn Master, you can just use the rules and have it set in Greyhawk. You can have it set in the Forgotten Realm, wherever. You can use the rule set. And adversely, you could have use the Harn world setting and use for Golden Glory rules for characters and spells and clerics. You could just the rules are setting agnostic, and the setting is rules agnostic, which I like. I appreciate that. I mean, they do lend and lean to one another, but not so heavily that you're going to befuddle anything if you only use one without the other. That is for certain. Yeah, maybe I'll do combat next week or something, go over that, or go over some spells. We'll touch upon it here and there. I got some Harn quests I haven't lightly touched on. I got all 3 or 4 from this year I haven't blabbed about. Which Harn quest is a neat thing to subscribe to on their site if you're getting into Harn world. Even Harn Master, even though there's only a handful of rule books for Harn Master, but you subscribe to that Harn quest, even if you just get the PDF subscription, or you get the physical and PDF. Either of those 3 subscription levels, I guess you could say. It's a quarterly, comes out every 3 months. Got a lot of material. It's all new. And you get 50% off any PDFs you buy for being a Harn Quest subscriber. That's a nice discount. Oh yeah, I'll definitely be doing a combat. Definitely. Like I said, if you guys dig deep, not too deep, but I did 1 or 2 combat examples for Harn Master. Like you said, there's a little sneak peek, I guess. Here's the combat tables. They're real easy to figure out. It looks like what? It's easy. It's simple. You just got to cross-reference that chart. They take into account the defender had a critical failure on his defense and you had a moderate success. You just go boop, boop across that chart. You see what that result is, and then you roll some dice. Or you add dice to your injury. The effective impact of a successful strike. Neat thing about combat as well is you have injury levels. Say you have your first strike is only an injury level of 1. For every injury level you take on top of the ones that you already have, you roll a d6. So if I have an injury level, I took 1 strike, that's an injury level of 2. Okay, I roll 2d6, that's 6. If that total exceeds, sorry, wrong sheet, get this out of the way. If that injury level would exceed my endurance, I would be either winded or knocked unconscious or, taken out of combat for X amount of time. But, injury level 2, there's no way I'm going to get, but, say I had an injury level of 2 and I took another one with an injury level of 3, which is a very bad wound. Now I got to roll 5d6. Yeah, that's over 14. Yeah, I'm out. Not dead, but I'm out. So the spiral can be pretty intense, pretty quick. But it's more of a game you kind of want to do a little more thinking and role playing and not just hack and slash all the time. Certainly not right out the gate. So yeah, I don't know. Let me see something here. I don't know if this version will let me do this or not. Everybody wants to hop in real quick. I don't know. It might not let you. And again, maybe it will. No clue on the changes. I just know they changed it and they tried to up my subscription feed almost double. And I'm like, no. So I just clicked on the one that was in the wheelhouse of what I already had, and they got rid of a lot of stuff that was available before they changed it. So yeah, I know like. I even sent a report to them. So I'm going to stop using this service for the price. So no good. I can't even have multiple cameras now. Like I was getting stuff all set up for, you could see the character sheet, you could see the rules, you could see my dice. Nope. Not letting it. Whatever. Whatever. Very, very meaty bestiary. Articles on the barbarians are nice. A lot of different tribes, different cultures. Oh, yeah. I appreciate you folks stopping in and blabbing. I hope that answered any curiosity. So anything more, you want anything more in depth, I'll go over it now. If not, I'll schedule another live Harn Blab combat example. Most likely with a different service. So I can have more than one dang camera so you can see some dice rolls, and I'll set up some miniatures, some little models on one of my little terrain things. And have something neat to look at, you know, not just some dice rolls and a chart. A little more visual flair. Yeah, I got all this stuff I gotta still go over. It's a good bit. Those are all the Harn decks. Plus I got one still coming in the mail I haven't gone over. And again, all or not Harn decks, Harn Quest. And everything they put in is new. They're here and there they'll do an update or an addition to what's already out existing. But it's nothing like really anything completely rewritten, or it's more of a addition, maybe a little bit of an update to what's already written, which you can just file with whatever you already have in the library. Thespians Guild. 6-page article. That's just part of one of the Harn quests. You get 3 or 4 articles. They're starting to actually throw in. I think it was last said they were going to throw in 2 Atlas Harnica maps now with their Harn quests, which are nice. It's nice to have. Atlas Harnica is let's see, where's one here? I'll find one. Just a closer look at a region. M10, that would where it would be on the larger picture of the Harn map. Sorry about the shadow of the wire, but which are nice to have. Meldorin, yes, Meldorin. That's the part of Harn that's got a lot of mages, a lot of chantries, a lot of magic stuff. But, all right, going on 2 hours. I'm going to end it. I'm going to cut it. I love you guys. Robust blessings to all. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. May you be blessed in all. Truly. You know I'll be around. We'll keep in touch. I love you guys. I'll see you around.